Race Spec. There's Tier 2, up and running, good to see. Definitely recommend to give that a watch as well, for anyone who watches Tier 1. Go and pop off and have a look at the Tier 2 stream. Taking a little while for the video to upload. Take a really long time. Get all the necessary stuff up. Telemetry, lap data, track map. Oh, the stream is definitely up. Someone's commented on it. See if we can find it now. Hopefully it has loaded. No, it still isn't loaded for me. My goodness. Maybe if I do this. Oh, it's still taking forever. Man, YouTube does not want to cooperate with me. Oh my goodness. Hang on, I got a better idea. Race Spec. Race live stream. Scroll down. There it is there. Why hasn't that uploaded to YouTube yet? Oh my goodness. Rightio. Stream's up. Chat's up. The audio's working. Fantastic. Damn you, YouTube, for being a pain in my backside. Right. Hello and welcome, everyone, to round 13 of the PlayStation Tier 1 Pacific Series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Everingham, your lead commentator for this event. And we're back, and this time we're at Baku City Circuit for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. The 6-kilometer, 20-turn racetrack was first used back in 2016, and it's known for creating races full of action and drama. The track is somewhat unorthodox for a street circuit, as it has high average speeds, pretty much all the way around the racetrack. It can hit incredibly high top speeds as well, Monza-like top speeds, heading down the long straights into turns 1 and 3. These corners also provide the best overtaking opportunities around the racetrack. There are still a couple of tight and twisty sections that drivers have to tackle. Sections that you normally find on street circuits, the most infamous of which is the castle section. Formed by turns 8 through 12, the section has retired many cars and claimed many more front wings. It's a hair-raising section to go through, and when the field is bunched up on the opening lap, it can be the scene of some major drama. But typically here at Baku, the race is usually one of two things. It's either a complete ballfest or a drama-filled demolition derby. It's usually one or the other. Regardless of what it may be tonight, hopefully we get to all enjoy the race. But first, a little bit of news from last week. Quite happy to report that there were no stewards reports from last week, so no penalties handed out. Looking in the Drivers' Championship, Crichton is leading the way on 244 points, followed by Jax in P2 on 187. He is 57 behind Crichton. Spilly slots down into third place in the standings. He's 2 points behind Jax on 185. So there's 59 points separating the top three. So there's an interesting set of circumstances that can take place here. If Crichton outscores Jax by 6 points and Spilly by 4, he will be crowned Season 5 Pacific Tier 1 Drivers Champion. But here at Baku, almost anything can happen, so we'll have to wait and see until the race comes to its conclusion. But also an extra bit of news is that version 1.13 for the F1 2021 game has come out, which means Jeddah has finally been integrated into the game. The 6.1 kilometer infinitely turned circuit. There are so many corners around that place, oh my goodness. And almost all of them are flat out as well. It's a very, very hair-raising circuit. Very difficult to get right. And on a pad, it's kind of a nightmare. There's also a few extra added options being put into the game as well. One of which, apparently this is a thing, where an option to enable or disable a pit lane tyre temperature simulation, so cars that box closer to the pit lane entrance are not disadvantaged by colder tyres. I didn't realise they integrated something like that into the game. It's just something like if you were, I don't know, in the Mercedes or Red Bull garages, you're actually at a disadvantage when you leave the pits. It's accurate in terms of its simulation's sake, but didn't realise that was a thing in the multiplayer. But there you go. But that's pretty much it in terms of news. We can now fully focus on qualifying. 16 cars are here tonight as well, which is good to see. It's a fairly healthy field. Ferrari Pro making his way towards the end of the second sector. Down the hill towards turn 16. Probably the most important corner on the racetrack. Need to nail the exit out of this corner so you can carry as much speed through the flat out left-right section of turns 18 and 19. And around the flat out right-hander of turn 20. Down the long pitch straight, he'll open DRS. Come up to the control line and complete his flying lap. Going P11 with a 1 minute 40.582. Well, he's invalidated his lap. Crichton, current championship leader, on a flying lap. Ferrari just in front. That has to be Jack. His teammate Wogboy is in the pits. Down towards turn 15. Corner that has a unique racing line demonstrated pretty well there by Crichton, where you have to absolutely send it over the inside curb, touring car style, and cut as much as you possibly can. Through turn 18, then 19. Around turn 20. Then he'll open DRS. And he'll complete his flying lap. 38.5 to beat. Crichton sets a 38.5 as well. He's just beaten Leo. A very small margin of 8 thousandths of a second separating the top two. Nice little PlayStation notification there. Spotty, you've invalidated. Whereabouts? Okay, Spilly, you're in the first sector. Macedonian in the middle of a flying lap through the castle section. It's an incredibly tight, twisty bit of road. It's very easy to put into the wall. And Macedonia, he had a bit of a mare at turn 12 as well. Still committed, he's pushing. And that's a more conventional racing line at turn 15, avoiding that inside curb as best you can. Because if you do take it at an awkward angle, you can end up hitting the outside barrier, as Macedonian almost did there at turn 16, through 18, through 19. Then around turn 20 onto the pit straight. He'll open DRS. And he'll head into the pits. It's a very quick pit entry. You really do send it in. Seen a couple of drivers lose bits of their front wing through that section. As Crichton's run out of fuel, there goes Spilly. As Leo begins his flying lap. We're right on board. Give you a tour of the circuit, exiting turn 1. Heading up towards turn 2. Gets on the brakes, third gear. Nice through there, opens DRS. Down towards turn 3. Brings it up to 8th gear. Hitting 320 kilometers an hour into the braking zone of turn 3. Or very sideways on the exit, but he keeps the car out of the barrier. Exiting turn 4, he's sideways again. The back tyre is really heating up. He's losing bits and pieces of traction. Exiting turn 6. Heading up towards a hairpin-like corner of turn 7. And he's just going to give up on the lap there. Cutting all of turn 7. We're right on board with Spilly to complete the lap. Heading up towards turn 7. It's a corner where you have to cut a lot. Not as much as Leo, but definitely you have to cut a lot. Up and around turn 8, 9, 10. then 11 and 12. That's the castle section. Nice exit there out of 12. And around turn 13, 14, and into the tight turn 15. Brings it down to third gear, second gear in fact. Down the hill towards turn 16. He's up by a tenth and a half in the second sector. Exiting 16 through 17. Then into turns 18 and 19. Nice and tidy through there. That section can be an utter nightmare in the wet as well. With that lack of grip, it's very easy to end up in the barrier. Heading up towards the line, Spilly jumps up to pole position with a 138.475. Takes it away from his championship rival, Crichton. Leo, he's having a second crack, heading up and around turn 3. Oh, he brushed the wall there on the exit. Front wing still looks relatively intact. Spicy, he's up in the first sector, only just though by 29 thousandths of a second. Around turn 7, up towards the castle section. He's down to third gear, avoiding the walls as best he can. Exiting turn 12, up the hill towards 13. Bringing the car back up through the gears. Heading up towards turn 15. Brings it down to third. Nice exit. Down towards 16. Isaac Kush jumps up to pole position with a 37.9. He's the first car into the 37s. A great lap from Isaac Kush. Ooh, and Spicy's backed out. I guess he ran wide at turn 16. I didn't look properly. I was too busy looking at the leaderboard. Crichton getting ready. Leo coming towards the end of a lap. Or is he going into the pits? No, he's going into the pits. There he goes. Tinselman getting ready. Zach going into the pits. Plebs, I believe, has just completed a lap, goes P8 with a 39.2 on the mediums. Crichton's about to set off on his flying lap. He's got a Ferrari right in front. It's Wogboy. He's giving him an almighty tow. Ooh. Into turn 1. Third gear. It's a nice exit out of 1. Up towards turn 2. Gets on the brakes. Third gear. Clips the apex nicely. Gets on the power as early as they can. Now sending it down the straightaway. Scotty giving a small tow to Zach there. Into turn 3. A bit squirrely on the exit, but he kicks it out of the wall. Round turn 4. Keeping it in third. Finding that traction out of the corner. He's up by just over a tenth in the first sector. Exiting turn 6. Climbing back up through the gears, heading towards turn 7. Braking just before the 50. Third gear, carries third gear all the way round turn 7. Into the castle section. Turns 8, 9, 10. Turn 11. Then 12. Keeps it in third. Seems that third is the magical gear for Crichton. He gets enough drive, enough acceleration out of the corner. He also has enough traction, so then he doesn't get any wheel spin. Really sends it over the curb, clips the wall on the outside. Sector 2 says he's up by almost 3/10. It's not enough to beat Izzat at this stage, though. Izzat's laps is unbelievably fast. Around the final corner, 312, 313, 314 kilometers an hour, opens DRS. The speedo skyrockets up towards 330 as he crosses the line to jump up to P2. It's an improvement of just under 3/10. It's not enough, though, to take pole position away from Isaac Kush. Leo getting ready. Tinselman, I believe he's coming back into the pits. He's currently P7. Same with Macedonian here. He's coming around turn 2. Hilles, he's getting ready to... No, he's going into the pits as well. He's low on fuel. Will has just started a flying lap. Scotty is in the middle of one. These two drivers have yet to set a lap time. Exiting turn 5 up towards, turn 6, heading up towards turn 7. Getting around 7, nice and easy there, keeping it out of the barriers. Through the castle section, through turn 11, then turn 12. A little bit sideways on the exit, but keeps it straight. Well, he's coming out to turn 6, heading up towards the hairpin of 7. Second gear, cuts a lot there at the apex. Through the castle section. Nice and tidy there from Will. Nice and quick as well. Scotty coming out of the penultimate corner. Around the final corner. Heading up towards the control line. What will the time look like for Scotty? 36, 37, 38, 39.2. Almost a 39.3. What about for Will? Look pretty quick in the middle sector. Crichton has retired in the pit lane, so the best he can hope for is second place. Let's see if he will start on the front row. Coming towards the business end of qualifying with only a minute and 40 seconds left. Will crosses the line and jumps to P3. Look at that lap time, a 1:38.362. He'd be very happy with that, I'm sure. Looking at the outboards, he absolutely nailed that middle sector. He looked very quick through there. And it seems that the time has reflected that. Is that getting ready? Leo, coming towards the end of a flying lap. He's up by a 10th. Up towards the line comes Leo. Jumps up to P4 with a 38.4. Spicy just beginning a flying lap, coming out of turn 1, heading up towards turn 2. What about Bags? He's heading down the back straight away towards turn 3. Jax, he's coming out to turn 3, heading up towards the first sector split. This man is currently second in the Drivers' Championship, and he's up by almost half a second in the first sector. Now that previous best that he set, I believe that was on the mediums. So he's looking to improve by quite a bit on the soft tyre. Through turns 8, 9, 10, then 11 and 12. Needs a good exit out of 12. Finds it. Oh, a bit squirrely. Losing a little bit of time. Not a lot, just a little bit. Heading up towards turn 15. Avoids that inside curb. Scrapes the wall on the exit. Sector 2 says for Jax. Up by a second. So he's looking at a 38.1. He might be able to creep into the 37s, but he has traffic. He has Will right in front who goes into the wall. Did it cost him time? Let's find out. Jax, he'll open DRS, heading up towards the line. 34, 35, 36, 37, 37.9. He takes it by less than half a tenth, but Izzat has improved by a tenth at the second sector split. One sector remains for the Red Bull driver. Coming out of 19. Through 20. He'll open DRS, heading up towards the line. 35, 36, 37.8. He retakes pole position by less than half a tenth over Jax. What a tight bit of qualifying. And Spilly, he jumps up to P5 with a 38.292. What about Plevs? He's coming towards the end of a flying lap. Oh, and he's backed off completely. He wants to start outside the top 10, preferably P11. And someone has jumped up. That was Hillers who jumped up to P11. Took that away from Plevs. GeForce Zach has invalidated his lap. So that is qualifying over. And it's Isaac Kush on pole position by a fairly tight margin. See there, 45 thousandths of a second separating the top two over a 6-kilometer racetrack. That is pretty close. Fantastic stuff. Crichton qualifies third. He'll have Spicy alongside him on the second row. We'll run through the rest of the order in just a few moments. But here we are. Izzat on pole. Jax in P2. Then we've got Crichton in P3. Spicy in P4. Spilly P5. Will P6. Leo in 7th. Wogboy in 8th. Bags Liddell in 9th. Then Tinselman rounds out the top 10. 1.1 seconds separating the top 10 as well. Then we got Hilles, Plevs, Scotty, Macedonian, Zach, and Ferrari Pro, who will start from the back of the field in 16th place. How about that? Nice and close between the top two. Always good to see. And all of our championship contenders, they're starting in the top 5. They're towards the front. But hello chat, hello Toddster, hello Ferrari Pro, hello Aaron, hello Brock Bear, hello Banana Cake Pie. Of course you're watching along. You should be racing, Banana. You should be. But no, you're off watching the stream on the side, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, I imagine, Ferrari Pro, that you're struggling in the LP. Your name really does says it all. It just seems, it's just weird. Like, you're in an Alpine and your name's Ferrari Pro. It is, you know, a tad bit strange. I'd accept if you were in like a Haas or in a Alfa Romeo. But yeah, in an Alpine, it's just all sorts of wrong. Instead of being in the Italian car, you're in the French car. But, you can see as well, it's slightly overcast here in Baku. Maybe we'll see some wet weather. I haven't got a weather report, so I guess we'll find out. And hello, iContrast. Good to see you're watching as well. The more the merrier. Drivers are setting off on their formation lap. We'll get rid of the interval. We don't need that. What we do need is the tyres. And it is quite a convincing story outside the top 10. Okay. So, on pole position is Izzat Kush, starting on the soft compound tyre. He'll have Jax alongside in the Ferrari, also on the soft. Same with Crichton in P3 and Spicy in P4. Spilly in P5 on the soft tyres, same with Will. And Leo in P7. G-Force Wogboy in P8 on the soft tyres, same with Bags Liddell in 9th. And Tinselman rounding out the top 10. So all of these guys are on scrubbed soft compound tyres from qualifying. Hilles is the first driver outside the top 10, starting on the medium compound. Same with Plevs in P12, and that's Hilles disconnected from the session. You can tell from the red cross. So hopefully he'll be able to rejoin soon. The two Alpha Taris of Scotty and Macedonian, as Hilles been... Whoa. Okay. That was a bit strange. But yes, the two Alpha Taris of Scotty and Macedonian starting P13 and 14. They're both on the medium compound tyre. G-Force Zach starting on the medium, same with Ferrari Pro at the back of the field. So yeah, pretty convincing tale. Got 10 drivers on scrub softs. Got 6 drivers on fresh mediums. And nobody on the hards, to no one's surprise. I'm going to imagine this is going to be a fairly dramatic first lap. I mean, this is Baku after all. I mean, we kind of have to just expect this. Especially if we have a few battles in the midfield heading up towards the castle section on the first lap. They're never great. It's always heart-and-mouth stuff when you see the cars all tightly bunch their way through the castle section. Because you know if one of them goes into the wall, it'll just create a concertina effect. And a whole heap of other drivers get screwed over by it too. Rightio. Leaders are lining up into their respective grid slots. Is that Kush on the racing line? Jack's with the inside line, so if Jack can convert the start well, he might be leading into turn 1. Let's find out. We got 10 red lights. And we are underway here in Baku, and I think Izzat has converted quite nicely off the line, heading down into turn 1. Crichton tries to follow Izzat round the outside. Jax tries to fight down the inside, can't do it. So Crichton is into P2, a great start from our championship leader, side by side between Spicy and Will. I think someone went into the wall there in the background. Scotty has jumped down to P16. He was 13th at the beginning of the race, so he's lost a fair few places. Will looking down the inside of Spilly, couldn't make the move stick. Into turn 4 we go. Everyone bunching up. Oh, a bit of contact there between Will and Leo, heading down towards turn 5. They're side by side into the left-hander. Leo gives in, lets Will have the position. Oh, it's a big train of cars here heading down towards the hairpin of turn 7. There's the predicted tyre stop strategy. It's a 2-stop for Leo. Soft, medium, medium. Heading up towards the castle section. There goes Will, there goes Leo. There's Wogboy, Bags, then Tinselman, who rounds out the top 10. And Tinselman hasn't moved anywhere. Heading through turn 14 down towards 15. Nice big train of cars. Single file making their way down towards turn 16. And I'm pleased to report everybody has gotten through the first lap relatively okay. But look, it is that already. We could probably get rid of the tyre graphic for now. 1.5 seconds. Izzat has bolted out in front. In turn 1, Plebs has overtaken Tinselman for P10. I see, Tinselman's going into the pit, so he obviously has some sort of damage. Down the back straightaway towards turn 3. Half a second separates P2 and 3. Into the 90-degree left-hander we go. Won't see too much just yet until DRS is enabled. And Izzat is still pulling away. Rebel Driver's got some serious pace. Bit of a gap between Spilly and Will in P5 and 6. So we're getting 2 trains forming here. Got the train led by Crichton, and we've got a train led by Will in P6. He's got Leo, Wogboy and Bags right behind. It looks like Will is not closing that gap. Just steadily increasing between Spilly and Will. Through turn 15, down the hill towards 16. He closed back a little bit through that corner. And in fact, he's pulled away from Leo a little bit too. Gap has increased to almost a second. So Will showing off that pace that he had in qualifying. Just gonna try and get himself into a groove. Set some competitive laps and hopefully claw his way back towards the front. Wogboy, Bags. Oh, hello. Wogboy's going into the pits. Here comes Plebs. Looking round the outside into turn 1. They're side by side on the exit and Plebs is through into 8th place. But Bags will get DRS. Here we go, exiting turn 2. DRS open for Bags. He'll close in on Plebs. Not by enough though. The McLaren holding its own down the long straightaway into turn 3. Around turn 4. See if Bags can keep up with Plebs. Those soft tyres won't be feeling tremendously great. Even though it's only been 3 laps. Tyre wear, especially on the soft tyre, is quite bad here at Azerbaijan. Out in front, Izzat is still pulling away. He's got a margin of 2.1 seconds. Crichton hasn't been able to make his way towards Izzat. in any way, shape or form. And I don't think he'll be able to defend Jax here. He's very close. Exiting turn 19. Heading around turn 20. Here we go. He won't use any battery, Macedonian. Oh, it's Bags. Hang on. Oh, hello, Bags. Just went into the wall there. Will is into the pits as well. Jax is into second place. Coming out of turn 2. Crichton in the slipstream with DRS. He's closing in on the Ferrari. Down towards turn 3. Looking to the inside. Goes deep. Oh, almost into the wall. Jax gets the switchback. What a move from the Ferrari driver. Retakes second place. Hillers and Macedonian are battling too. Macedonian into 8th. Hillers is out of the race. Oh my goodness, and so is G4 Zach. They've both gone into the wall at turn 3, and we have a safety car. So here we go. Here's Zach. Where's Hillers? Oh, there he is. He's gone head on into the wall at turn 4. So in the matter of about 8 or so seconds, we have our first 2 retirements. We're down to 14. Right. Interesting. How is this going to pan out then? We got Will, Wogboy, Tinselman, Bags. They're all on fresh tyres. Do they pit? Do they stay out? These fellas, I think, are definitely pitting for new tyres. Those soft tyres will be pretty cooked by this point. In he comes. Jax as well. Crichton going in. Look at it. Oh. Almost gets right onto the back of the Ferrari there. Medium tyres going on. And away he leaves. Lots of drivers going onto the medium tyre. Leo going in. Same story. Set of mediums going on the car. So no one wants to touch the hard tyre. Everyone's gone on to the mediums. Interesting. It's been a while since I've done a race here at Baku, so my knowledge of the strategy is a bit iffy. And typically safety cars tend to shake up the strategy quite a bit. And we do see quite a few safety cars here at Baku. But it will mean that Plebs is at the front of the field. You'll have Macedonia behind and Ferrari Pro in P3. And you'll have Scotty in P4. It's interesting that you mentioned that high contrast, because they seem fairly even on track. I mean, we saw before the lap where Jax passed Crichton with DRS. Crichton was losing time to Izab, but Jax really couldn't do anything behind Crichton. He wasn't gaining any time anyway. That does explain your comment. How he wasn't able to pass Crichton before lap 3? 4? Lap 3, it would have been lap 3. This is going to be a fairly long safety car period too. It's a 6-kilometer racetrack, so safety car periods do take a long time here. Hello, KD. Hello, Rogue Vegan. Ferrari for the win. Well, currently, they're P6 and P12. So they're not doing too badly, and we've still got a long, long way to go. It would just be interesting to see what players Macedonian, Ferrari Pro and Scotty do. My only guess is that they're going to pit onto the hard tyre at some point. Maybe lap 10, 12. That would be my only guess. But these fellas is at Jax, Crichton, Spicy, Spilly, and Leo. And I can include Will in this as well. They've already met the 2 compound requirement. So they can go medium to the end if they so choose. Whereas these 4 at the front, they have to use either the soft or hard tyre at some point. I'm really not sure what they'll do. Whether they 2-stop. I mean, they can't 2-stop it because it would mean there'll be a pit stop behind everyone who started on the soft tyre. So I think all they can do is pit onto the hards, then pray. So safety cars should be in this lap as well. So we should be getting ready to go back under green flag racing at the beginning of lap 7. Safety car lights will go out at the end of this sector. There it goes. So that gives players a fair bit of time to control the field and decide when he wants to restart this race. Oh good, we get an aerial shot. That's lovely. And this is one of the trickier things about Baku, is the safety car restart. Because you're not given any sort of corner where you could go around and try and pull away from P2. It's basically all straight. So when you go, the guy in P2 can react pretty quickly, though I think Plevs has done the best that he can do. And tell you what, the rest of the field is fairly far behind. Here we go, down into turn 1. I think Scotty has Isaac pushed down the inside. He does. As Isaac goes into P4, Scotty can't really fight it. So Isaac making up a position. Round turn 2, up towards turn 3. There's Plevs, Macedonian, Ferrari Pro. Then Isaac Kush on those fresh tyres, closing the gap. Into turn 3. He's right behind the Alpine, heading down through turn 4 now. Scotty just behind, doing the best he can. Into turn 5. As Crichton's looking down the inside of Scotty. Scotty gives him as much room as he needs. Contact between Scotty and Jax at the exit. And I think Spicy got a piece of that as well. Down the inside, the Ferrari look. Oh, and contact between the McLaren and Ferrari there. Jax and Spicy again making contact. And I think Spicy's got damage from that. Pretty sure I saw an end plate fly off. Yeah, he's got damage. Look at that. Missing end plate on the left-hand side. Spilly trying to get around the stricken McLaren. Spicy lets everybody go. He knows he's got damage. Just go back into the pits and get that fixed. Is that closing in that little bit more? Doesn't have any DRS to help him out. If he wants to pass, he has to do it the old-fashioned way, and Crichton is right there as well in P5. We saw earlier when Izzat was in clear air, he was clearly the quickest car on track as Spilly makes a move on Scotty for P7. Izzat looking down the inside. Oh, contact between Crichton and Izzat there. A bump. Heading down the back straightaway towards turn 3. Look at the straight line speed Izzat's got. Pulling away just that little bit from the Mercedes. Into turn 3. Everybody checking up into the corner. Crichton trying to look for a way to get round the Red Bull. Into turn 4. Still right on the back of Izzat. Ferrari Pro was a bit wide. Oh, here we go side by side. Down into turn 5. Izzat has the inside line. He's spinning. Oh, he catches it. Crichton and Izzat are now side by side. Heading down towards the hairpin of turn 7. Here we go into the hairpin. All contact. Or they're going to be side by side heading towards the castle section. Or rather wisely, Crichton backs out of that. Through turn 12. Up the hill. Round turn 13. Jax isn't too far behind. So these two battle like they did just a little bit earlier. Jax will be that much more involved in this. Heading up towards turn 18. Then 19. Bit of a lift there. Almost into the wall. Here we go. Exiting turn 20. Down the pitch straight. Izzat gets by. Here comes Crichton. Trying to get a bit of a side draft from the Red Bull. Heading down the pitch straight towards turn 1. Into the opening corner. They're side by side. Exiting the turn side by side. Into turn 2. Crichton sends it deep. Oh, and almost puts Izzat into the wall. And Jax goes through. He can capitalise. Pulls out of the slipstream, overtakes Crichton with ease. He's into P3. Spilly's getting involved as well. He's side by side with Izzat at turn 3, down towards turn 4. Izzat hanging on for dear life. Crichton and Jax pulling away. As Bags has retired in the pit lane. Down towards turn 7. Gap of 3/10 between Jax and Crichton. Izzat needs to get his head down, try and close that gap. Through the castle section. Then through turn 12. Three-tenths of a second separating the two. Macedonian is just in front. Exiting 15 down the hill towards 16. On the brakes. Fourth gear. Carries fourth out of the corner. Alrighty. Here we go. Exiting the final turn. Crichton closing in. DRS open. And here comes Crichton. The sheer straight line speed in the Mercedes. Macedonian is a sitting duck. Down towards turn 1 we go. Crichton with the inside line. He's through into second place. That's Hackerson and Schumacher stuff right there. Crichton retaking second, but I'm sure Jack can reply. He'll open DRS. Crichton moves to the inside to break the slipstream. Jack remains unfazed. He's going to stay behind Crichton for a little bit. Heading into turn 3. He's not going to go for a move. Izzat is, though, down the inside of Macedonian into 4th place. Macedonian, he now has Billy to deal with. Into turn 4. Oh, fairly tight between those fellas there. Into turn 5 now. Everyone going through single file. It is very tough to pass through this section. Spilly, though, he's close. Not close enough, I'm afraid. Try and pass the AlphaTauri. Up the hill. Out to the castle section. Spilly. Closing in incrementally. Into turn 15. Can't pass here. Corner doesn't really allow it. You essentially have to stay patient until the DRS zone. That's exactly what he's doing. And Macedonian, again, will be a sitting duck. Oh, and Wogboy's out of the race. He's crashed out. Safety car has been deployed. You can see the dot there, stationary, just before the final kink. Right on board here with Ferrari Pro. There is Wogboy. You could actually see the tyre marks heading into the right-hand side barrier. Other drivers coming into pit. Scotty going for a set of soft compound tyres and the front wing change. Spicy staying out. Tinselman, almost going into the wall. Hill says, oh. I'm not sure if that was a reset or not. Like an intentional reset or a game reset. Yeah, you're not allowed to go into the pause menu and go reset the track. Macedonian on a set of hard tyres. He's the only driver in the field on the hard tyre. Plebs, surely he has to take advantage of this safety car. He'll have to come in. Be interesting to see what he goes on to. Set of hard, set of sauce, even a set of mediums. Yeah, that's sad to hear, Bags. These races can get incredibly frustrating. It's also quite typical of street circuits as well. Like, when you make a mistake, there's no margin for error. You go into a wall. Or when somebody else makes a mistake and you're just a sort of passenger in that mistake. Yeah, it can be really, really frustrating. But that's just the nature of street circuits. Plebs has gone for a set of softs. Nobody likes a hard tyre. That's what I'm learning. Hard tyre is a big no. Well, Macedonian, he's going to come back in and probably put on fresh mediums. So he's done his 2 compound requirement. There are a set of mediums. Hopefully they're the fresh ones. They're the fresh ones. And away he leaves. Saw a league race last night where the leader accidentally put on used mediums instead of new ones. Had to make another pit stop, which ultimately ruined their race. Very important that you select new mediums, not used ones. Scotty, another front wing change. That's his second one in 2 laps. But he's still fighting. I'll give him credit. Always got to keep digging, because you never know. Just never know. So Crichton, Jax, Leo, then Plebs and P4 on the soft tyre. Interesting. Very interesting. Everyone behind Plebs, Will, Spilly, Tinselman, Izzat, they're on fresh tyres, fresh mediums. Spicy's on 3-lap-old mediums, so he won't feel too bad. Macedonian's on fresh tyres, so is Ferrari Pro and Scotty. Interesting. Very, very interesting. We should do one more lap under safety car, then we'll go back under green. Closing in on the halfway mark as well. Hello, Andre. Thank you very much for the compliment. Because, yeah, it's not just the commentary that the streamer has to deal with, it's also all the camera work. And sometimes, like, it's really unfortunate because all I can control is whether it's a onboard camera and where I'm looking. I can select where I'm looking, onboard. And offboard is basically random. It's up to the game to decide what camera to use. So, but I much prefer using outboard cameras because it just shows so much more, even though I have less control. But I'll do my best, and hopefully we capture everything, because this is turning out to be a fairly entertaining race. We'll probably get rid of the interval. I don't think we'll need that for at least the restart lap. Probably get rid of the tyre graphic as well. Just make a mental note, Plebs and Ferrari Pro are the drivers who are on soft tyres. We'll bring it back up later when the race unfolds a bit more. But for now, just to increase a bit more of the viewing space, we'll get rid of that stuff. Because with the new patch, they still haven't introduced a thing where you can change the spectator HUD. You can change driver HUD, that's fine, but spectator HUD, you can't change anything. So, kind of stuck with this. I just want to make that leaderboard just a little bit smaller. Not a lot smaller, just a little bit smaller. Because having this is huge. And having this up as well just takes up that little bit extra viewing space. I would love to have telemetry up. But yeah, it's just a bit big. Take a quick glance at position change as well. So Crichton up 2, Jax qualified P2 is currently P2. Leo up 4, Plevs up 8, Will up 1, Spilly down 1, Tinselman up 3, Isaac down 7, Spicy down 5, Macedonian up 4, Ferrari Pro up 5, then Scotty up 1. There we are. So Crichton controls the field. He'll get to decide when to go. And I imagine it's going to be a fairly long wait. You can see there the driver's weaving, except for Will. He's doing a pretty solid Kimi Räikkönen impression. A bit more weaving. A bit more temperature. You can see the field stacking up. Bit of a car park there. Coming up towards the control line, and Crichton goes. Fairly solid restart from our championship leader down towards turn 1. It's lap 14 of 26 here at Baku. Bit of squabbling in the midfield. Drivers trying to find a bit of track to race on. Get back into the groove. Plevs and Will side by side. Sorry, no, Plevs and Leo side by side. My apologies. Heading up towards turn 3. Plevs with the inside line, going for it. And he's through into third. Oh, a bit of a battle behind as well between Izzat and Spilly. In the wall, that is Tinselman and Izzat. So Izzat has been spun out. He's got wing damage as well. They're now down in P11 and 12, the Red Bull duo. Oh, and Izzat completely cut turn 6 there. So he's got a 3-second time penalty. That's actually the first penalty tonight. Credits from drivers. They haven't got many warnings. And that penalty wasn't due to warnings either. That was a straight corner cut penalty. Crichton hanging on to the lead for now by only half a second over Jax in P2. Plevs trying to hone in on the top 2 on those soft tyres. Will have quite the edge on them. Heading up towards the line, we begin lap 15 of 26 here at Baku. Through turn 1. Gap is less than half a second, and Plevs is right there as well in P3. Oh, he's close. He's very close. Using up his battery, Izzat Kush has crashed at turn 1. Izzat is out of the race. Up towards turn 3. Not close enough, Plevs. Not quite close enough. But he's right on the back of Jax here. Understandably, Izzat has left the session. Looking at that dot, he might have gone straight on into the wall. As Plevs, down the inside of turn 5, he's through into second. Up towards the hairpin of turn 7. 7-10 separating the top 2. I heard someone go into the wall. There's a brief crash there. Someone brushed it at the very least. Everybody looks okay. Nobody has lost any sort of pace, I think. Down towards turn 16. Spilly working away at Will. He has to really dig deep to keep this championship fight alive. Because if Crichton outscores Spilly by 4 points, he's no longer in the championship fight, as Plebs is through on Crichton. Down the inside of turn 1, or Will and Spilly side by side exiting turn 1. Down towards turn 2. Spilly is through into 5th. Leo closing in on Jax as well. Just 3/10 behind the Ferrari driver. Tinselman's overtaken Scotty for P10. Through the chicane of 5 and 6. Fairly tight battle here. Everyone from P1 down to P8, they're all within a second of one another. Really, really close at the moment. Through the castle section. Round turn 12. Lovely aerial shot here looking over the city of Baku. Turn 13 and turn 14. Up towards the tricky turn 15. See all the drivers make their way through the sector, single file. Unable to attack one another just yet. Plebs pulling away on those softs. How long will they be good for? That is the question. Here comes Jax. Now, do we have DRS set? Ah, yes, DRS is enabled. Heading up towards turn 1. Jax closing in, not by enough. Exiting 1. Up towards turn 2. Crichton, he's somewhat defenseless here. Gets a pretty solid exit though out to turn 2. Does he have a big enough margin to hang on to P2? Round turn 3. Down towards turn 4. Not close enough. Leo and Spilly, well, actually they're all involved. It's all really, really close. This sort of sucks because they can't really battle each other through this part of the racetrack. They more or less have to stay single file. They can't attack. Up towards the castle section. Through turns 8, 9, 10, then 11 and 12. And someone's had a moment. It's Ferrari Pro. He's done a pretty solid Charles Leclerc impression. Fortunately, he's still in the race. Down towards turn 16. Still have this fairly long train of cars. Spilly on the back of Leo. He's using up his battery. Pulls out of the slipstream. He is through into 4th place. Now he's trying to close in on Jax, who is closing in on Crichton. Down towards turn 1 we go. He looks to the inside. They're side by side through the corner. Crichton maintains 2nd. Into turn 2 we go. Crichton doesn't get a great exit out of 2. He's going to be vulnerable. Moves to the inside to break the slipstream. Through goes Jax. He's on the racing line. He should get by, but he doesn't. Crichton has got some seriously good straight line speed. I thought Jax would have had him for all money, but Crichton, he hangs on only just. Meanwhile, Plebs is out in front, pulling away, having a great time in the lead. Exiting turn 7. Through the castle section. Out of 12. There's Plebs. 2.2 seconds to this man, Crichton. Definitely not 2.2 seconds between Crichton and Jax, I can tell you that. A lot closer. Spilly right behind as well. He demonstrated that he had some pretty good straight line speed when battling Leo. See if he can use any of it here. Exiting 19, heading up towards turn 20. Through 20. Here comes Jax. Opens up DRS, uses up the battery. Gets it done this time. Oh, contact between Jack and Crichton into turn 1. Oh, that was just a little bit of contact. Not much, just a little bit. There's Spilly looking down the inside. Can't make the move stick there. Crichton will get DRS. 0.4 of a second separating the two. Here comes the Mercedes. Heading up towards turn 3. Looking down the inside. He goes for it. Sends it. He's through. Back into second place. Heading up towards turn 4. Crichton defends the inside line. Jax can't find a way back by. Single file once again. Heading up towards turn 5. Jax trying to look around the outside. Can't get it done there. Heading down towards the hairpin of turn 7. Exiting 7, heading up towards the castle section. Through they go. Can't do anything through here. You just have to be patient and not make any mistakes. That's exactly what those drivers are doing. Leo had a bit of a moment there, but he kept the car out of the barrier. That's the important thing. Heading towards turn 15. Down the hill. Through 16. Spilly is right on the back of the Ferrari. Lost a little bit of time on the exit of 16 though. Through 18. Then 19. Exiting the final quarter, using up his battery. Gonna pass Crichton, and here comes Spilly! My goodness, the overspeed on the Aston Martin is immense! He's through into second place with absolute ease. Heading up towards turn 2. Spilly now at the front of the train. Can he pull away? Jax will have DRS. He'll close in. Maybe. Oh, he closes in, but not by a lot. Through turn 4. Then through the chicane of turns 5 and 6. And we talked about earlier with the setups. Everybody is running. I think Jack running with higher wings. I think that's right. I think that's absolutely right. But he's not making any time up through the middle sector. Spilly is hooking it up out there. My goodness, he is flying. He's leaving that pack in the dust, and he's closing in on Plebs. Those soft tyres won't feel great, and I reckon Plebs is going to try and get those to the end. It'll be a desperate drive, because those tyres will feel horrible, and they will most likely be in puncture territory. But I reckon that's what he's going to try and do. Here comes Spilly. He's got no battery left. You can see 0%. He's used it all. And there goes Plebs. So I thought Plebs was going to go to the end. I was wrong. He's going to pit now. He's going to lose a fair amount of time though. I guess he just can't hang on. He has to pray for another safety car. And Crichton has fallen all the way down to P6. What has happened to you? I was too busy paying attention to the front of the field. Something has happened to Crichton. Here we go, down towards turn 3. Will up into 4th. Spicy trying to fight down the inside of turn 3. Here comes Crichton. Trying to overtake the compromised Spicy into turn 4. Can't quite get it done. Crichton is stuck in P6. Exiting turn 6 down towards turn 7. Crichton's car still looks relatively okay. Oh, I heard a thud. I heard a thud. Definitely heard a thud. Heading around turn 14, down towards 15. Spicy, still on the back of Will. Will having a fairly nice performance here at Baku. Showed a lot of pace in qualifying, and he's found that pace once again in the race. Talked to Spicy after his first ever race spec victory at Singapore. Says he loves street circuits. It just shows you how good Will is doing right now. He's outpacing Spicy. Will having a really, really good day. Tinselman now closing in. Maybe Crichton does have a problem. Because he's losing time to the cars in front. Into turn 3 we go. Tinselman just staying behind the Mercedes. But yeah, Crichton, that gap is opened up to 1.5 seconds. He might be in a bit of trouble. Though visually, his wing on the spectator cam looks completely fine. Yeah, look at that. Tinselman's going to get around him, no sweat. Here we go, into turn 7. Nothing Crichton can do. He's just got no speed in the turns. Oh, spinning! It's Tinselman. He's made a mistake. He's got end plate damage too. Oh, he spins it into the wall. That doesn't help. And he gets going. Well, sort of. Leo is still in this fight for P3 as well. He just needs to keep within DRS range. And he's within a second. Just by 2/10. Heading up towards the DRS zone. Opens it, closes in. Tinselman is out. He scratched out at turn 13. Safety car? No. Is the answer. Macedonian now getting by Crichton. Pleb sets fastest lap. He's closing in on Scotty here. There he is. So we're going to have a bit of a scrap here for P8. Maybe Plebs can snag P7 away from Crichton. Here comes Plebs. Should be a simple move. Is a simple move. He's into 8th. Very mysterious with Crichton. But it is a thing that I've seen in this game is that the spectator, sometimes you don't see any damage on the cars. Unless it's like a lime green wing that he has. But I don't think it'll be affecting him that much if it was lime green. I'm not sure. I guess I'll find out after the race. And that is Ferrari Pro. Gets it going again. And so long as he finishes inside the top 10. How about that? Leo closing in. Half a second now between him and Jax. Down the pit straight we go. Leo, DRS wide open. He doesn't have a lot of battery to play with, but it doesn't matter. Pulls out of the slipstream, down the inside into 1. He is through into 2nd place, but Jax will fight back. Heading down towards turn 2, he'll slot in behind, but he'll get DRS. There's Will and Spicy just behind as well. Spilly, there he is there, pulling away. 3.1 seconds to Leo. Down the back straightaway we go. Down towards turn 3. Jack's looking down the inside. Into 3 we go. They're side by side. On the exit, Leo tries to fight. Can't do it. Oh, it will. He almost spins out. But he keeps control of the car and Spicy moves into 4th. Will tries to fight back. Oh, wheel-to-wheel contact there. Heading up towards turn 5. They're side by side. Will goes deep with the inside line. He takes 4th place back. Leo just hovering right behind the Ferrari. Getting ready to battle it out for P2. Oh, right up against the wall there through the castle section. Fine margins here in Pacific Tier 1. Down towards turn 15. Half a second. Leo, can he get a nice exit out of turn 16? This corner right here will help him out. Oh no, that's a bad one. He had a big twitch just after the apex. He lost a little bit of time. Heading up towards the final corner, exiting the final corner. Down the pitch straight we go. Opens DRS, closes in on Jax. Will it be enough to pass the Ferrari? No, is the answer. And Plevs moves into P6, overtaking Macedonian. Now he's got 6 seconds to the car in front. I don't think he'll be able to close that gap. Unless Spicy slows down a lot. And I don't think he's going to slow down. I hazard a guess. Into turn 3 we go. It is a 4-car fight for second place. And we've got 1 2/3 laps to go. What a terrific battle we're going to have here. Spelly's out in front. He's cruising. He's home. So long as he doesn't make a mistake. Around turn 7. Oh, that was a brush with the wall there. I saw the sparks fly. That was Jax. 4 more sparks there at turn 9. Exiting turn 12. More sparks. Leo, he needs to close in. Needs to dig deep. He only has a few opportunities to try and pass. He needs to put himself in the right position in order to get by. Jax will be doing the same. He's got an 8/10 margin coming out of turn 16. Make that 9/10. Now the gap is closing. The straight line speed on that Ferrari isn't particularly great. And here comes Will to try and battle for that final podium spot. He's side by side with Leo. There he is there. It's the final lap here at Baku. And we got a hell of a battle for the final podium places. Into turn 1. It's side by side between Will and Leo. The exit side by side. Heading down towards turn 2. Leo covers, then moves back onto the racing line. Exiting 2. Leo will have DRS, and he's close. He is very close to that Ferrari. Will he go for it? Will he send it into turn 3? He closes in. 3/10, 2.5/10, 2/10. Into turn 3, it's not enough. Will is right there. Spicy right there as well in P5. All it takes is one mistake from any one of these 4 and it'll blow this thing wide open. Heading through the chicane of turns 5 and 6. Leo doesn't get a great exit. The gap opens up a little bit more to 7.5/10. There's Plevs in the background. He's closed in by a lot over these past couple of laps. He is flying on those soft tyres. Heard a bit of wheel spin there in the background too. Through the castle section for the final time. I think Jax has done enough. I think this battle is now for P3 rather than for P2. And Leo is in trouble. He's outside of that 1 second range he needs to be in order to try and defend that P3. If he doesn't have it, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And he made a mistake there at turn 15. Gap is 1.3 seconds. Leo won't have DRS to help him out. This man doesn't need any DRS. What an unbelievable effort from Spilly. He'll come home to win here at Baku. Crosses the line. Wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Jax will take second place, but who will take third? It'll be Will. A podium finish, only just so. My goodness, what a tight fight for third. Only 1/10 of a second separating P3 and 4 at the end, and 16,000 separating P4 and 5. Plebs comes home in P6, Macedonian in 7th, Crichton in 8th, meaning the championship fight continues into the next round. Scotty, P9 and Ferrari Pro will be our final finisher in 10th. Oh my goodness. What a great fight that was. Oh. heading up towards the line. Gonna take it nice and steady. And a nice little spin. As Ferrari Pro claims P10. Who will get driver of the day, game? Who gets it? Plebs! There you go. Plebs gets it. We'll see his performance in the final results screen, but first, the podium celebrations. Congratulations, Spilly. A fine victory here at Baku. Jax fought hard for that second place, and Will takes home third. Didn't see Will finishing on the podium, that's for sure. But it's a nice sight to see. A very nice sight to see. But there we are. An entertaining race at Baku comes to an end, and Spilly takes home the win by 5.6 seconds over Jax, and Will completes the podium in third. Spicy finishes in fourth place, Leo in fifth. Plebs went from P12 to P6, that's why he's been given driver of the day, even though Macedonian made up more places. But anyway, Plebs also scored fastest lap, which probably aided the game's decision. Yes, Macedonian went up from 14th to 7th. He made the most places out of anybody in this race. Crichton finishing in P8 with some sort of gremlin towards the end of the race. He'd just be happy that he got to the end and scored something. Scotty in P9, and our final finisher, Ferrari Pro, in P10. He made up 6 places, starting from 16th, made his way up to 10th. Our retirements, Tinselman is at Kush, though no points for Red Bull. Wogboy finishes in P13, Bags in P14, and Zach and Hillers, all of these guys not finishing the race. 6 retirements, 10 finishes. There we are. And it seems we're stuck on this screen. Oh, great. Well, this will give me the opportunity to invite the top 3 into the party, and we can have a little chat, so I'll be back in a few moments' time. Dum 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 dum. Hang on a minute. How do you spell it? I did spell it right. Hang on. I did spell it right. Let's see. That one. There we are. We'll have them join and we can have a nice little chat. Oh, bloody hell. Never a dull moment in Tier 1. My goodness. Hello, Spilly.
Hey, what's up, man? I haven't been here in like 5 weeks.
Nice to have you back, then.
Yeah.
How the hell did you win that?
That's a great question.
We'll talk about it in the questions.
But hello, Jax. How are you?
Hey, hello. I'm good.
And hello, Will. Oh, it's not too bad. How are you? That's the way. I just want to double check with all of you as well that your party audio settings are on always allow. Yeah, double check. Otherwise, the audience will hear absolutely nothing in your response.
Yeah, mine's on. I think Will's probably the only one that has to do that.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay. Well, I'm in the middle of a loading screen. We'll start from P3. we'll make our way up towards the top. So we'll start with you, Will. Fantastic performance from you. I had a podium inside my head of who to expect. You weren't there. That was an excellent performance from you. Completely unexpected from my end. Your qualifying performance too was amazing. You were so quick. How was it out there at Baku?
Yeah, it was alright. I wasn't expecting to get on the podium, as if you weren't either. No way I was, and I was pretty surprised by my quality as well. I wasn't expecting to get P6 or anywhere near there, and I'm pretty happy with that. Going into the race, I had a decent start. I lost a position or so, and then by the end, I didn't really make too much mistakes. Got a few warnings here and there. Towards the end, tyres started to get a bit hot. Made a few mistakes, nearly went into the wall, and just saved my ERS, and Leo made a mistake on the final S's, and I just got him, so yeah.
Oh, but how does it feel to claim a podium finish against such elite company?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah. Is this a circuit that you like as well, here at Baku?
No, not that I knew of, but now I don't mind it.
The results certainly changed your outlook on the circuit. Oh, it's just... yeah, I had a front-running pack, and then you just jumped up to third, I think, on the leaderboard during qualifying. And I saw that time, I'm like, right, time to change my outlook, Glenn. Because you performed very well. That car was hooked up, you were hooked up. That was a fantastic performance.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your P3 finish. Is this your first podium in Race Spec?
In this tier, yeah. Not in Race Spec, but in this tier, yeah. Okay.
Well, still, that's a big moment for you. So congratulations on a fine performance here in Azerbaijan. We'll move on to you, Jax. P2 finish. I'm sure you're happy with the points haul that you got. Just take us through your qualifying and through the race.
Yeah, qualifying was a bit confusing because I was attempting to go on either the mediums or the softs, and I did the one lap on the mediums and I wasn't high enough, so I just wanted to go on softs, and I felt like I had the pace for pole, which I did at the time, and then Isaac got me by half a tenth, and I actually lost a bit of time by Will because he was trying to give me a tow, and then he kind of messed it up and boxed me in the S's a bit. But
I did see that. I saw that. Yeah.
I'm like, I saw him the last corner, like, going on to the main show. I'm like, just go. And he's like, just stopping there, and he's not going. And I'm like, looking at him well. And then got quality up to P2. Isaac had some crazy pace. Off the start, I'm not good with starts lately. I just spin the rears too much off the start, and Gran got me around the outside. I was thinking about trying to keep it side by side, but I was like, I was focusing on Billy more for the championship because we're battling for P2.
Yeah.
I was like, me and Spilly do kind of have a chance to still beat Cryan, but we have to win every race from now on. But so I just stood behind Cryan, saved my ERS, wait for the DRS to happen, and I got Cryan, and he got me back, and I got the switch back on him, and then the safety car came out, which was chaos because didn't really know what to do. And then cleared for the mediums, and it was a good race and had a good battle, and then the other safety car came out, and I was just going to follow Cryan. Now I saw Spilly pit, I'm like, maybe it was... as soon as Spilly pitted, I was like, maybe I should have just pitted. I was just focusing on Cryan too much. And I was like, I think me and Cryan, I don't know, Cryan was, but I was planning to do the two-stop, so I was planning to go on sauce at the end. And then I was about to overtake Cryan. I'm like, my tyres still feel fine. They're not that much wear on them. And I was like, I'll go to the M and try and hold off Spilly or stay in Spilly's DRS until the last lap. And but Spilly's tyres was just out of control, and he was just sending blistering laps. And so my goal was just to get P2 still, and I had about 3 cars behind me, and that's where chaos happened with Leo, Will, and Spicy, I think.
Yeah.
And it was a good finish. I'm happy with P2.
Yeah, it's like I said, a nice points haul. And again, as you alluded to earlier, you and Spilly are in a championship battle for P2 in the championship. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you two on track, having some good scraps. And maybe, who knows, because with you're still mathematically in contention, and all it takes is 2 bad races from Zach, Crichton, and then the whole thing blows wide open. So you never know.
Maybe I need to give Spilly a win every race so he can win the championship.
I'm sure Spilly would like that very much. But,
yeah, go for it. You can battle Zach and crash him out for me.
Throughout the race, Jack, I was talking a little bit here and there with the YouTube chat, and some people alluded to potentially you having a bit too high downforce, too high winds.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about something else.
No.
Yeah.
Do you think you made an error in terms of setup?
I was thinking because I was doing a bit of time trial with Will, and Will was having lower wings, and I was comfortable with the high wings, and I didn't want to change anything too close to the race because, like, I thought Spilly was just crazy in the last sector in quali, and yeah, I was like, he'll be very slow in the middle sectors, which kind of happened. I was kind of was faster than Spilly in the middle sectors, but that main straight he just flew away, and yeah, I was just comfortable with my setup. I think I had a good chance of the win if I maybe pitted with Spilly.
Yep.
But yeah.
But still, it's a fine effort from you, Jack. A P2 finish, so congratulations on another podium.
Thank you, GG Spilly.
Yeah, you too. Good race.
Speaking of the man, Spilly. Congratulations. Or
was it a good race to commentate on?
It certainly was. It was an interesting race to commentate. After all your study, all your exams?
Yeah.
Come back and win.
Yeah, I missed 2 weeks, and then I come back to a broken charger.
Oh.
And my good controller was flat, so I had to use the shitty controller, so it wasn't the return I wanted. I think I finished last. I think the only people behind me were bots. So it was good to come back and get a win with my good controller and my new charger. Yeah, it was a good race. Quality, I wasn't exactly happy. I couldn't find a toe. Usually me and 40 try and like help each other, but he's studying now, so
yes.
Yeah, so I started like 5th. I had a shit start, but I managed to keep ahead of like Leo. And then then safety car came out. Everyone pitted. I was actually going to go on the mediums, on the hards. I mean.
Oh.
But while I was in the pit lane, I saw all the pit crews on mediums, and I switched to the last second. And thankfully I did. So.
But
yeah, it was a good race.
How was that race for you as a I caught a quick on board. It had Crichton with no DRS, it had Jack with DRS, and then you coming out to light speed.
Yeah, I was really quick in the last sector.
What wings were you running, out of curiosity? Are you allowed to tell us?
5 and 7, I think. 5 and 8.
What the hell?
There you go.
Oh no, it was 4 and 7. I think it was
running 8-6.
What were you running?
6-8.
Ooh.
There you go.
Everyone in TT was like...
No wonder why you flew past me on the straight.
Yeah, this is rocket ship, bro.
I was really slow in the middle sector though. It was pretty bad.
Yeah, I noticed that a bit too, but still, that straight line speed really helped you out there, big time.
Like there was thankfully, like it was very like trainy, a lot of like trains, and you know the middle sector, everyone gets bunched up anyway, so like
yeah, and it's tough to
really
pass
affect me
through there too.
It was more like when you were just by yourself, and you had no DRS or anything, so.
But this would be your second or third?
Second, yeah.
Second one of the season.
Unless I'm forgetting one. I don't know.
I know it's either 2 or 3.
Second win or second podium?
Second win.
Your first win came at... Oh my goodness.
The neutral Portugal.
It was.
Portugal?
That's precisely where you won. That's right. I remember now. Won by quite a bit there, too.
Yeah, I think that was by about 8 seconds or something. And what was this one?
5.6. Yeah. But speaking of new racetracks, a question to all three of you. The next round of the championship is a fairly special one, as we're going to Imola for the first time.
I haven't done a
Race
single lap
Spec.
on that.
Well, we know your opinions about the circuit then.
I did Jeddah. I did like 20 minutes of Jeddah before the race.
Yeah, that's an interesting circuit. That's a very interesting circuit, to say the least.
The curbs are useless. They're like really flat.
Except for the ones at the opening chicane. Those are proper curbs, but all the other ones sort of, they're like painted on. They don't exist. So
Yeah, I don't know why.
it's
I
very
guess it
strange.
adds colour.
Perhaps.
It's very bland.
It would be a very
bland
grey
track.
circuit if it didn't have those painted on curbs.
They need more trees or something.
Hmm.
Add some trees around the track and it'll be better. Like Baku.
Mm.
Baku's
that-
very tree and
Yeah, it has a fair bit of nature here and there.
a lot
tossed
of
in.
nature and buildings, yeah.
But, Will, are you looking forward to next week driving at the
No.
new racetrack? No?
Not at all. Hate the curbs. They suck.
Yeah, curbs are interesting at Imola. I
Yeah.
have heard about that. But, and from the looks of things as well, the circuit probably won't lend itself too greatly to racing either.
Yeah, exactly.
Only one DRS zone. But, Jack, are you looking forward to it? Or is it just going to be whatever happens, happens at Imola?
Wait, what? Sorry? I was
Next
talking to
round,
someone.
we're going to Imola.
Yeah, they've got deadly curbs.
Mm.
It's not fun.
Yeah, right.
I'd much rather Saudi Arabia.
Oh, there we go. Well, a
no
lot of
curbs
positive energy going into next week then. A lot to look forward to then. But thank you, all three of you, for joining me here, answering a couple of questions here and there.
No worries.
Yeah, all good.
Is there a week break, is there?
Wait, what?
There's no week break, is there?
Thank
A bit
God.
late. It's a bit. Come on, Billy. We don't need.
I
a
don't
break.
I need time to practice for Imola. I haven't touched it.
I haven't
And
touched it since the first night it came out.
I've done more
Where is the calendar in Race Spec? God. So many tabs,
Actually-
I can't keep note of them.
Interesting fact, this is the first time I've practiced other than an hour before the race.
So
Alright.
So
maybe
it
you need to
paid
do that
off.
more.
I did too much, I don't know why. I need...
You did
I
too
prob-
much, but you won.
yeah.
Please don't practice then.
Oh yeah, we have a week off, how about that?
Oh,
That late?
Yeah. So yeah, Imola won't come about until 30th of November.
Nah, just put Saudi Arabia in the week.
exactly.
Yeah, righto. Okay, so that would be the first week off of the entire championship of.
That's later than usual.
It is. It is pretty late, but there we go.
Should
We
have
have a
done it
week
during
off.
the Melbourne Cup weekend.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
attendance was fairly bad.
Was that
And-
was that Mexico?
Yeah, Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Everyone.
also missed that race. So.
That was a very quiet race at Mexico.
Yeah, when Melbourne Cup comes around, it's a signal to everybody to get absolutely drunk. So
I'm too young for that, so I don't know what that means.
fair enough. But again, thank you fellas for joining me here, just answering a few questions here and there. And congratulations on your podium finishes. But,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that will wrap everything up then, folks. That bit of news that we have to wait an extra week for Imola. That's an extra bit of news that I certainly didn't know, but now I'm glad that I do know. But yeah, with everything finally over, it's time for us to end the stream. Tune in throughout the week, as there's still plenty of racing to take place here on Race Spec Esports. But for Pacific Tier 1, we'll have to wait until next fortnight, according to the calendar. Until then, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you for round 14 at a new racetrack for Race Spec Esports, Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari, better known as Imola, for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Hope to see you all there, but until then, it's goodbye.